True Crime Arizona. In recent weeks and months, we have reported on several stories that all have the same element: dead children at the hands of their mothers.
And these cases often become high profile, as so many of us struggle to comprehend how any mother could get to that point. Well, tonight, some insight from a forensic psychologist about what they found happens inside the minds of these mothers. Our true crime correspondent Brianna Whitney is here. You've been looking into this. These are always the saddest cases for police to respond to, for us to cover, and for our viewers to watch. It's incomprehensible.
They're the most traumatic for sure, and it seems like we've reported on several of them in the last few months. That's why we wanted to look into this. It truly is one of the most tragic crimes we see, and now I've learned moms who kill their own kids tend to fall into different categories to explain how and why they got there. Moms can have very different motives for carrying this out, and it's important to identify to know how to stop someone else from doing this very thing.
The public sees these faces and often feels this is what pure evil looks like.
This is one of the crimes that seems incomprehensible to most folks. Unfortunately, mothers killing their children is more common than we'd like to think.
In Reference Vineyard, they're saying the mother put the kids down for a nap with some sort of medication, all under 3 years old.
In some cases, maybe it is just evil.
Help me here, please, I kill my kids.
But in more instances than not, forensic psychologist Dr. Erin Nelson says the psychology of mothers who kill their children is much more complex.
There are very different motives for mothers who kill their children.
They should be in that house there, right in that trailer.
Last week, Phoenix mother Rachel Henry just changed her plea to guilty of first-degree murder for smothering her 3 young children to death in 2020, then propping them up to look like they were napping. One of the biggest questions, why? Rachel Henry's family and friends described the mental decline and possible drug use after she lost her mom, her job, and moved across the country. Friends also reported domestic violence between Henry and her boyfriend. Nelson says her likely motive? Things didn't seem they'd get better.
It could be, I can't live in this world anymore, and it's a cruel world, and I need to take you to heaven with me. I can't leave you vulnerable or exposed.
That aspect is one that falls under the most common category of filicide, when a parent kills their child. It's called altruistic filicide.
They believe this act, this offense, will be to the benefit of their child.
You shot them?
Yeah, I shot them. Please come here. She's bleeding, still breathing.
This summer, Octavia Rogers was found guilty except insane in a plea deal by the court after killing her 3 young sons in 2016. She dismembered them and put them in a closet and suitcase before stabbing herself. She told family she wanted to send them to heaven. Nelson says the twisted thought behind that.
They are helping to assist, taking the burden upon themselves to help assist the child or children to get to a better place.
Because she was deemed insane, she could not understand the wrongfulness of what she did. But what gets difficult to categorize is someone like this.
Is it your intention, ma'am? You had expressed earlier that you would like to represent yourself.
Yes, sir.
Is that still your intention?
Yes, Your Honor.
The infamous Lori Vallow.
When you get into sort of intense, zealous religious beliefs, it gets a little blurrier.
Vallow was convicted of murdering her 2 young children in 2019 after marrying doomsday prophet Chad Daybell, who also killed his wife. The two started deeming people light and dark spirits in their extreme religious beliefs, and anyone in their way of living was essentially eliminated. Nelson says that mindset includes selfishness.
Cases with that motivation would not qualify as insanity from a psychological or a legal standpoint. That's just selfishness and greed.
Lori Vallow is not only just deemed mentally competent to stand trial here for conspiracy to commit 2 other murders, she also is planning to represent herself in court, as you heard here in the story. As for some of the other categories of filicide, they include spouse revenge, acutely psychotic, and accidental as a result of abuse. That goes too far, guys. There's so much to this.
Yeah, so heartbreaking to hear every single time. With these cases, are the moms usually suicidal?
One would think so, right? One would think they've really found no other way, that they're at the end with everything. But actually, Dr. Nelson said only about 20 to 25% of moms who kill their kids are suicidal at the time. So they fall into those other categories we were mentioning, like spouse revenge, for example. You're so mad at your partner that you're going to take out what brings them joy. That's where that kind of mindset falls into place. The abuse one, that's like Munchausen by proxy, that's one of those kind of unique situations that falls into that, where there's abuse and it goes too far and then a child dies. So it's very interesting how to kind of characterize them. But Dr. Nelson said that it can be hard. There can be overlap. It's like a Venn diagram, right? They might fit into several different categories, but they use these to try to prevent what would happen in the future to other kids.
Yeah, sometimes there are red flags and warning signs, and sometimes nothing at all. So
right.
Each case very different. Thanks, Brianna.
Yeah.